All right, we've got our Super Bowl teams. They're there. The Royal Rumble is over. Nobody wants to be in the top 10 in college
Nope, they can keep
basketball.
winning.
And the Thunder's in first place. Got a lot to talk about. Let's go. We're back. Thank you very much for showing back up. I'm Johnny. This is Chuck, and we are the Midnight Riders podcast. How you doing? Today's date is
It's the 29th.
January 29, 2024. Welcome back, and boy, did we have a weekend here. Man, we had a lot of stuff go down this weekend.
Yep.
It was a good weekend. I mean, a pretty good week, actually, in sports. And other business. It's Monday night. We're kind of got Monday Night Raw on over there on the TV. We're just kind of, it's not making any noise. We're kind of keeping an eyeball on it, see what's happening after the Royal Rumble. But anyway, let's talk Super Bowl, Chuck. We got our teams. I missed them both. How'd you do?
I got one. No, I got the Ravens.
You did get the Ravens.
They lost.
Come on, man. Work with me here.
No, I missed them both.
Oh, brutal. I did not want to see San Francisco and Baltimore. I did not want to see San Francisco and Baltimore.
Really, really hoping more for the Lions than the Ravens and Chiefs. I could really care less on either one of them, but I was really hoping for the Lions, and we'll get to that in a second. But
well, who do you want to start?
Let's start with the Ravens and Chiefs because we got more to talk about on the Lions.
It's going to get ugly, folks. I've already heard some of it. Well, the Ravens, they didn't show up.
No,
they didn't show up. I didn't think the Chiefs' defense was as good. The Chiefs' defense is not as good as they played. I don't think, and
no,
or Jackson just had a bad night. I don't know.
He didn't have a good day. He made a couple, especially his last interception. He was, I don't know, it's almost like he was forcing it. But I don't want to say the moment was too big for him because I mean, hell, he's played in them. But yeah, they just weren't. I don't know. I mean, got to give credit to the Chiefs, I guess. I mean, they came out and did what they do. Unfortunately,
they did, and damn it, they just get better.
Yeah,
I mean, the further
playoff time, and they had me fooled. I thought this was going to be the year. I thought this was going to be the year the Bills beat them, but. That went absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, I was wanting the Bills to win so badly. I really was. I've never been a guy, and you know this of me. We've grown up together. I mean, I don't like dynasties. I don't like the same teams every year. Yeah. I hate that stuff. I hate that shit. I don't want to see it. I want to see somebody different every year. Of course, being a Cub fan, you get used to it. I'd love to see the Cubs dominate, but it's never, it's not going to happen. But I mean, I want to see new meat. But I mean, I just don't.
I think we should be able to in football. I mean,
you should.
The salary cap, everything's set up in football.
It is
agency and everything. You should see it, but they always seem to.
And I don't get it. But I mean,
through,
but why? I mean, is Mahomes that much better than every defense out there? I mean, he's got a good group. He's got a good group playing around him. I mean, he does. But my gosh,
they know how. I think it goes back to that thing that they talk about. They just know how to win, and
they do it. They've done it. Yeah, what is this? The 4 out of the last 5 Super Bowls they're playing in, or something like that. I mean, it's just unreal. I just don't like it. I don't like it. But
no, I'm tired of seeing them. But
here we go.
What are you gonna do? I keep rooting against him, and he just keeps winning.
I know they are. But he's good. I mean, the scheme they got going is good. The defense is The defense is playing lights out right now. I mean, they can't. I mean, Baltimore did not play a good game. I don't think they played well.
Defense didn't play that bad. Defense. I mean, hell, they only scored 17. You know, you would think with Lamar Jackson, you'd be able to capitalize on that.
What was that final score?
That is 17-10, I believe.
Am I thinking of the other game? So we're not even prepared. Look at this. We're talking right off our cuff. We're not even prepared.
Oh man. They just I don't know.
They didn't.
I think I'm just more disappointed because I was 17-10. That's what I thought. I was just more disappointed just because I was not that I was excited to see the Ravens playing it, but I just wanted something other than the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm tired of them. I don't. Yeah, I'm tired of the whole Taylor Swift thing. I'm tired of the Travis Kelsey
God,
thing.
every time he makes a catch, they got to show her.
I'm tired of the Patrick Mahomes thing. I'm tired of Andy Reid. I'm just tired of it.
See, I like Andy Reid.
I'm just tired of that's all.
Just want some new meat.
We're getting hit with it everywhere we turn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it be a commercial or an interview or a history of or. It's just Tom Brady and Bill Belichick all over again, and I'm just tired of it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good; they deserve to be there. They beat everybody that they need to, and I just want something.
No, the Ravens, by all accounts, Ravens should have.
Well, they're not fancy.
Should have been able to beat them.
Yeah, they're not fancy. They're not flashy. So until Jackson runs with the ball. That's what I mean.
My God, you see that play? Maybe he got the ball deflected and caught his own pass.
Yes.
Oh, good Lord.
Yes, I mean,
a handful of guys that could have pulled that.
The guy is incredible, but it seemed to me, and maybe not to you. I don't know. He wasn't. I don't know if he wasn't following through on his passes. I don't know if his accuracy was off.
I was gonna say it was an off.
I mean, they dropped 2 or 3 balls that they should have caught. It was they just weren't clicking. I don't know if they were nervous. I don't know if they were tight.
Two turnovers in the red zone.
Yeah,
the last one was just he threw into what turned out to be triple coverage.
Well,
I don't know if you read it wrong.
Then you fumble out of the end zone.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you put those 2 scores in. I mean, it's a new, of course,
right.
But you know, ifs and buts. But right. I mean, it wasn't. It just wasn't what I was hoping for. I mean, it was a decent ball game. It was close.
Yeah, it was. I mean, as far as the game goes, it was a good game.
It was it was a fun watch. I mean, and you know, and the NFL gets what they want. They get Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. I mean, that's what they wanted.
And please don't talk about. I'm so tired of hearing scripted and conspiracy and.
Well, no, Lord. It's not. See, it's not because the logo was purple.
Yeah,
So the Ravens should have won. The logo had to be. You know, it was red. It wasn't red, so that's not what they had set up. So, but anyway, Chiefs there. They beat everybody they needed to beat. They got there. Do I like it? No. Will we tolerate it? Sure. It's a Super Bowl.
Let's go watch it anyway.
Let's go watch some. Now, who are they going to play?
Unfortunately, got the 49ers. So close. Lions were so close. They started off so strong, and I've gone back and forth with it. We talked during the game.
Yeah.
You can complain about the way Campbell coached, but that's the way he's done it all year long.
You can armchair quarterback it all night long. You can talk about the way that why do you go for 4? Why don't you kick the 2 field goals? You kick the 2 field goals. You're in the game. You can talk, but like you said, they did that all.
That's what got them where they were at, and that's why everybody likes him, and that's why he's turned that.
I'm sorry, guys. I keep coughing.
He's turned that. I don't want to say program, but he's turned that franchise around.
Absolutely.
And I got to think as a player, you probably love playing for that kind of guy who's not going to just shut it down on every 4th down. But
absolutely.
You also got to go back and look at it as like, okay, well, this one, especially the second time. The first time, okay, but you got that chance again.
Well, I understand you coach a certain way during the season, and I understand that this is what you do and this is how you want to play. You want to play balls out. Let's go get them. Blah blah blah. But whenever you get to a win or go home scenario, I think at that point you got to change. You've got to go back to I've got to put points on the board. You have to put points on the board. I mean, you got a good kicker.
Right.
It's not like he's not like he's shanking every other one he hit. You got a good kicker. You need points to win the game. If you don't win, during the season, if you go for 4th down, it's all right. We'll come back and get them next week. We can lose 3 or 4 and get. You win or you go home.
Yeah. I just got to think that's just the way they're equipped. Because if you notice, they were third. A couple of them, if I remember right, they were both third in semi-line, 7, 8, 9 yards, and all year long though they've ran those 3, 4, 5 yard plays because they knew they were going for it on 4th down.
That's right.
That's just
yes. That's why they were fun to watch.
I don't agree with it, but then again, that's why I don't get paid to coach.
They were fun to watch, and that's why they were fun to watch. And they played balls out football, and by God, they did what they wanted to do, and they did it their way, and they got to where they were by doing it.
But it cost them.
But whenever you got win or go home, I think you've got to change your strategy. And I mean, armchair quarterback.
Yeah.
We can all
And
say
Dan
this.
Campbell is, I mean, if anything you've watched, I don't know if you
Uh-huh.
watched, the HBO series on him.
No.
I watched parts of that, and he is who he is. I mean, he
Yeah.
makes no apologies, and that's the way he coaches.
Well, I
and
will
that's-
say at the time,
It's the way he does
I
it.
said don't do that. So therefore, that's not really an armchair.
But you think about it, they go for it and score and win the game. Everybody thinks he's a damn genius.
He's a genius. You're a genius, or but
that's the way everybody needs to coach.
Right. You see, and that's usually the call that'll get a coach fired.
Right.
But I mean, he's a good coach. I mean,
they're not. He's not.
He's what they need. And
they don't give him I don't know what his contract is, but if they
Yeah.
don't give him an extension, they're stupid.
He's a hell of a
Keep
coach.
him around.
Yeah.
He's
a hell of a
Players
coach.
got to love that.
Sure.
I mean, players got to love that.
Yep.
Balls out attitude that he's got.
So we got the Chiefs. We're playing in Vegas, so we're indoors. So we got the Chiefs playing the 49ers.
49ers.
Who didn't play a great game till the second half.
Yep.
And then they came out of no first half. They weren't there. They weren't there.
Yeah, I think they got kind of got punched in the mouth there for a little while and didn't know how to react. And
They did.
Everything the Lions did worked. And then
all of a sudden, they go in, they make a couple of adjustments, they figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's time to play ball, and then Detroit they ran over them.
Yep.
I mean, they just flat ran
control.
over them.
Yeah, that second half was 49er football.
Yeah, it was.
McCaffrey and
Unfortunately.
Samuel and Ayuk, and it's just
They just did it. And now we're down to the point. Everybody said 49ers would be there, and here they are.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody said Baltimore would be there, and they're not. But Kansas City's every bit as good, if not better, than Baltimore at this time of the year.
Now.
They're playing better.
Yeah.
That's
gonna be a heck of a game. Who you taking?
Boy. I'm gonna go with the 49ers. I know everybody's gonna want the Chiefs to win, so Taylor Swift can come down there and hand them the trophy or whatever the case may be. But I'm gonna go 49ers. I think the Niners are. I just think they're a better team top to bottom. They showed it to me this weekend when they were down as much as they were. Nothing was clicking. Nothing was going on. They couldn't get anything to work. And they made adjustments at halftime. They came out there and they just did it.
Right.
And I think I'm looking probably at a higher scoring game. Probably both teams in the, I don't know, maybe 31-27, 31-24. I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be over 50. I'm going to go 49ers. I'm going to go 49ers, Rob. I'll say 49ers by field goal.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Oh, well, I want to keep picking against Kansas City, but every time I do, they win. So I'm going to say Kansas City wins.
Well, the rest of the world thanks you.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking Kansas City is going to figure it out again. I had it down as I had them down for a 34-24 win.
34-10. Ooh, wow! I think it beat them by 10.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, who knows?
Who knows? I hope I'm wrong.
Which Kansas City shows up? Does the defense show up? Does it not show up?
Well, they're going to continue to show up. They're just.
They're a playoff team. They get to the playoffs. They don't matter what seed they are.
Yeah, remind me of.
Get me to the playoffs and we'll win.
Yeah, remind me of the Cardinals there for a while in baseball. No matter what they did, whether the wild card or the number one or whatever, they get to the playoffs and it's a whole different thing.
Well, they unfortunately remind me of the Patriots. I mean, no matter what seed the Patriots got, all they had to do was get in.
Yeah,
and once they got in, they found a way to win. Right. And but I still think McCaffrey's too good. I think Purdy is. Good enough.
Good.
I think their defense is strong. I think if the second half defense of the NFC title game comes and plays the entire game against Kansas City, they beat them handily. I'm going to go with the 49ers. I hate saying that. I don't like 49ers either. I'm not a 49ers
Well, that's the thing.
fan.
I'm not a fan of either one of these, but I think it's going to be a good game. If Kansas City's able to hold up that offense, man.
Yeah.
They got San Francisco's. I know Kansas City does too, but with Ayuk
Right.
and Samuel and McCaffrey, and they just got some weapons that are just
Yeah. All right.
hard to
So
maintain.
predictions are in.
Yep.
Okay. Well, then let's move over to the men's college basketball. I tell you what, I'm finding it hard. Nobody wants to be in the top 10. I mean, every time you turn around or you put it on ESPN or you check some scores, it's like, three of the top 5 lost tonight, or it's crazy
That's
this
crazy.
season. It's now it's entertaining to watch.
It's fun to watch.
To a certain point. I mean, you don't see the scoring of the big time college basketball teams when they had juniors and seniors playing all the time. You got a bunch of kids out there. It's just one step above high school basketball, or higher level high school basketball anyway. But it's fun to watch. I mean, these kids they're going hard.
Mm-hmm.
And they're playing hard.
No, they're all playing for a spot somewhere. And
yeah, and it's fun to watch. The only thing I can see and the only thing I can say at this point, as far as any domination in any way, shape, form, or fashion, is the Big 12.
Good night. Yeah, they're just beating up on each other every day, every weekend,
they're knocking each other. I mean, in the out of conference, they were just beating everybody.
Right.
I mean, they're beating everybody.
Which proves the point. There's 8 of them in the top 25 now.
9.
9.
No, 8.
8.
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, you've got 8. I mean, looking at what the top 25 is as of today, 9 teams aren't in a power conference, and so of the 7 of the let's see here, let's see 5 of the 16 teams that are in power conferences that are in the top 25, hell, 8 of them are in the Big 12.
Half of them are Big 12. Yeah, they're looking to. It's going to be crazy. We come to the end of the year tournament. I know I was looking at.
It's going to be. I mean, wow.
Yeah, I was looking at one of the forecasts on ESPN, and they had 10 of them making the tournament.
Yeah,
it's man.
I mean,
it's top heavy. Who's number 1 this week? I know Purdue was 2.
Purdue. No, Houston's number 4.
Houston's down to 4. Purdue's 2. Yeah. Man, I don't know.
I don't know who's number 1.
Yeah,
so let me look up. Keep yakking. Let me look it up.
Look that up. But yeah, if you get a chance, man, watching any kind of Big 12 basketball, we're watching OU this weekend. They got beat at home.
Yeah, but they're so good.
Man, they're fun to watch, and they get up and down the court. And the Big 12 basketball, no matter who you're watching, and you catch them on everywhere, no matter who they are, and they're strong.
Well, you look at the top 10. I mean, you got UConn, who's
UConn,
and they got 2 losses. Purdue's got 2 losses. North Carolina's 3rd. They got 3 losses. Houston's got 2 losses. And now 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5, 6, 7, and 8 all have 4 losses. Marquette's at 9 with 5 losses. I mean,
that's great.
Now is this parity? Is it parity amongst teams, or is it?
I mean, yeah, it's parity in a way, but it's they're out of there. I mean, if you get a kid to stick around for 2 years, that's a bonus now.
Well, that's true. That's true.
The kids that stick around those 3 or 4 years, they're either on their 2nd or 3rd transfer,
right?
Because they're trying to find that school that's going to get them to that next level.
Right.
But yeah, you don't. I think that's. I mean, I guess parity is a word, but I think it's spread out. That's for sure. Because you no longer have to. You don't have to get a full ride to North Carolina or Duke only anymore to be able to go to the pros now.
That's right.
And Kentucky.
That's
right.
Now
you can go to Alabama, Birmingham, and play your freshman year. And if that don't work, hell, transfer out.
Yeah, that's true.
Go to another school. Keep climbing.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I mean that's as good a reason as any.
Yeah.
To say that there's just not you don't find that dominant college team right now in college basketball. Back in the day, again, you could find those dominant teams and they would just roll over people.
Right. Well, you'd hit that tournament. You'd have the 1 or 2 teams that would get to the 16 or the Elite 8.
Right.
But you always knew that you had a group of 8 to 10 that were going to win it.
Uh-huh.
It was going to be one of those teams.
Sure.
Now there's no telling. Now you got your you got your other teams, and what was it, last year, the year before, Fresno State.
Yeah.
Or one of those teams that
right.
You just don't. hear about, but all of a sudden the
No.
St. Bonaventure, or
Yeah,
any
yeah,
of
yeah.
those guys
Right.
that come in, and you thinking, my God, they got a shot. They got just as good as any.
Well, sure. I mean, with the portal these days, if you're
Mhm.
the sixth man on a like you say a sixth man on North Carolina, but you want to be the point guard, and you can go to a second tier school and still make the tournament
Oh yeah,
and still do
and still
well,
make a run.
make a run, and look good for the
Yes.
NBA or
Yeah.
the overseas or whatever
Yeah,
the case
that's why I
may
said I've
be.
always
So
loved college basketball, and I've complained about it before because you don't have that what we're used to. You don't have that familiarity with.
right,
I can't
players.
I can't wait to see how he matures in 2 years. Here in Oklahoma, we had Blake Griffin. We got to see for a couple years.
Right.
You got your Stacey Kings, Hollis Price, Mookie Blaylock. OSU. My God, the talent they had at OSU.
Sure.
You get to see them for 2, 3, 4 years. You don't get that anymore.
No.
So
No. Not
now
anymore.
now you just gotta you can watch it and enjoy it, but you just gotta do it year by year.
Yeah, and it's getting like, unfortunately, it's getting like Major League Baseball, which we can throw a quick caveat in
Right.
here real quick. I mean, you get them for 1 year, and the people are signing tons of 1 year contracts.
Mhm.
The Cubs again are flirting with this Bellinger thing. I mean, you sign him for 1 year, now you're going to sign him for 1 year, then you're going to sign him for 1 year. I mean,
Well, even if they
you just can't get hooked onto players
Right.
like you used to could get hooked on players at the college level and the pro level.
Right. Yeah, and baseball's the one that they signed this. The problem with the baseball is they signed those long contracts, but after 2 years they want out, they get out. That's
Sure.
the problem, like with the basketball.
So why
contracts.
sign a contract?
Yeah,
And that's
guaranteed money.
That's probably why they're going the 1 year deals
Sure they are.
anymore, because they just don't want to. They don't want to.
Unless you get that guarantee
Right.
wrote into them.
Well, with the guarantee, if they're the ones asking to get out,
Well,
I don't know.
they all got those clauses in them that.
But the NIL, I mean, it's playing a big deal in the college basketball too.
Yeah.
These kids are going to start seeing the money. They're going to start getting the advertisement stuff in local TV and all
And I
that.
just wonder how big of. I know it's a big deal for the NIL and in football and everything
Sure.
else. Women's basketball, I know they've been making a big deal about it, but in men's
Sure.
basketball, I'm sure it's a big deal. I haven't heard much about it, but how
Right.
big of a deal is it? Because you only got to go for a year.
Yeah,
Football, you can't leave after your freshman season.
true.
You can't go to a prep school and just be out of high school for a year and then go play pro football.
True.
I mean, so
Well, I mean, and that made me deal like you just mentioned. That's gonna hurt their NIL opportunities, because nobody in a local market's gonna say, "Hey, I want this guy to be my spokesperson." If they're gonna be gone in a year, who cares? Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna learn who they are.
yeah,
Nobody's gonna know this kid because he's. I mean,
that's why I wonder if NIL is ever going to get that big like it is in college football now, like when they're talking about Caleb Williams or anybody else.
sure.
Is he going to go pro? Not Caleb Williams. He's
Sure.
a different entity. But,
He's a different entity.
I
mean, but yeah,
is he going to go and hit the NFL draft and be a early second round draft pick, or is he going to stick around in college another
exactly.
year and get $2.5 million for playing wide receiver for Alabama?
Well, exactly, and then so
So I wonder if NBA is going to get to that point.
Well, the NIL, I think it's not going to help the basketball side. I just don't think it will, because nobody's going to want anybody to advertise. It's not going to be around in a year. Why waste your money? Why waste your time?
Until they put some kind of guarantee or to change it up.
Now, I will say that over the past 2 or 3 years, I've noticed that
NCAA.
college hoops has not been as popular, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, not till the tournament.
Not till the tournament.
Tournament's always the tournament.
But then I turn around and last week OU sells out. The Lloyd Noble. I mean, that never
they
happens.
never sell out the Lloyd Noble.
And they
back to back.
It never happens, and
Right.
so it's. I mean, is it picking up steam? Is it
I
getting?
think so. I think it's getting to that point.
I mean, okay. So what are we looking at in the big tourney here? I mean, you think 10 are going to get in from the Big 12?
Man, I think they got a shot to get 10.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, they can't. I mean, they're good enough. I mean, they're deep enough.
Man.
They're good enough. I mean, OSU's not going to
But-
get in. West Virginia probably not going to get in. I mean, I think the rest are
West
in.
Virginia,
UCF.
Yeah, that was the. I think that was the other one that was
Yeah,
that was struggling. A couple of them I saw. OSU. I don't know what they're doing.
they're just.
They just.
I've watched a few. They're just kind of.
They got to figure something out.
You
I don't know if they got to get rid of Boynton. They got to do something.
Well, nowadays you can't say, well, they're young. You know, everybody is. You know, I mean, it's just he's just not getting the right guys to play his system. Is all I'm guessing, or he's just
no, because he's one of those guys that being here from Oklahoma, you don't ever hear anything bad about the guy.
No.
He's a good coach, a good guy.
No.
He's just not getting it done.
Well, at the time when they brought him in, they needed somebody to basically clean up the system.
You needed somebody to
get it cleaned up,
be a good face,
get everybody back in order, get everybody back online, get everybody's head on straight.
And he's done that.
And he's done it.
Some.
But we really need to start winning. I mean, you've got a reputation there of winning at OSU. And I don't know. I'd like to see a little bit of a change. I mean, not necessarily get rid of him. I'm just saying, figure out what's going on. Get some, recruit a little better. Get some better kids to play the system you want to play. But I mean, the Big 12 is not going to do anything to get better.
I was going to say, how many years has he been there? I mean,
I don't know. He's been here long.
You've had time to get guys in for your system.
But the problem we've got here now, we're going to lose OU and Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But next year we bring in Arizona.
I said the basketball's
Arizona State.
Basketball's not like it's going to take a big dip.
Utah, Colorado. You bring in Arizona State, who always have good basketball programs. Colorado and Utah, maybe. I mean, but you're bringing in two more. I mean, God, it's just going to be a deadly conference.
Losing OU and Texas in basketball is not losing like you losing OU and Texas in football.
No, and it's just. I don't know. It's gonna get crazy.
Good, and they better figure it out because they've got a chance to. The conference. I don't know.
Exactly.
They got to figure something out. So
yeah. Well, all right. Well, let's take that and let's move on to the NBA. And the transition here to the NBA is going to be one question for you that I've had. I hadn't asked you about this. I'm not setting you up. I didn't get you set up for this, but here you go. I read another story today about some NBA veterans complaining about LeBron still being in the league and taking away advertising possibilities for the current players only because he wants to hang around long enough to play either with or against his kid. Now.
Okay. I'm not a LeBron fan.
I'm not
Never
either.
been a LeBron fan.
Me either.
But the guy is damn good. One of the best ever.
He is one of the best ever. And he's still putting up
numbers. Now, if he was coming off the bench and playing 8 minutes and scoring 4 points a game, he's lingering around. But
my problem with the statement was where are we in the NBA if one of the main reasons we're worried about is these kids not selling more sneakers or more basketball shoes with their name on it.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's like I said, I'm not a LeBron fan, never have been, but I don't think that's legit. I mean, the guy's still putting up. He's still leading the team. He's still putting up. And he's still playing.
Yeah.
Right. We'll have, 40 minutes a game, 35 to 40 minutes
I mean,
a game.
he's
still, the guy can still go.
He still can. I don't like him. I don't like what he's all about. I don't like him having to get super teams to win. I don't like the fact that he blames everybody but himself. I don't like him flopping all over. I mean, there's a list of things I don't like about the guy.
Right.
But
you can't take away what he's done.
No, but I'm still 50-50 on the question. Has LeBron been good for the game of basketball? And it's a legitimate question. And if you look back and you say was Kobe Bryant good for the game of basketball? Yes.
Oh, without a doubt.
Was Michael Jordan good for the game of basketball?
Yeah.
Yes. Then you get to was Charles Barkley good for the game of basketball?
I say yes.
Arguments, yes or no, because of who he was. Was Bill Laimbeer good for the game of basketball?
That's a different animal there.
I mean, but was LeBron James good for the game of basketball? I can't say 100% yes in my eyes because of the kind of a guy he is. I just can't.
Right, but I think he was good. He's good for the game of basketball for most people. For people our age and older, and
Yeah.
the things he does is irritating. But for that age group, that age bracket,
Right.
yeah, he's great for the game of basketball.
I mean, the guy. I will say you got. I can't argue. I can't say great. I can't. I think there's too many negatives on his side, in my opinion.
Right, but most of his negatives are stuff that we see that we just you wouldn't have caught Kobe doing most of the dumb stuff.
Well, what I look, I always look
but-
at it like this: is the do the things that he does on the floor? Would I want my kid to do those things coming through? Would I want him to yell at the officials every time he gets touched? No. Do I want him to tell the coach how to do things? No. Do I want him to flop every time he no.
Right.
I mean,
but that's not a strictly LeBron thing. The problem is the game today. That's not just a LeBron thing.
Well, I use LeBron.
I mean, yeah, he's the
I use
poster boy
LeBron
for
because
it.
he's the poster boy.
Right.
He's the guy.
Right.
He's the role model, if you will.
Right.
He's the guy that says he's a role model, and then he doesn't act like one.
Right.
But I'll get off my horse here. But,
Yeah.
But how about that Thunder, huh?
Yeah.
Looky there, still in first place.
Still in first place.
Second best record in the league. How Durant, Westbrook, and Harden are playing well.
yeah, they're stacking them up. Another shot.
I mean,
they're actually playing the T-Wolves tonight. Tied for first place with them.
how are we doing?
At halftime, 49-47 Wolves.
Well, they're playing here in Oklahoma City. I mean, I tell you what, this is the perfect example of a young team that has a coach that can coach young players. I mean,
and they've got ownership and GM that know what to do and know how to properly build a team.
They're building it around.
He came from San Antonio, did the same thing at San Antonio.
Oh yeah, but at what point? I mean, they're playing well. I mean, they go. I mean,
second youngest team.
Well, we didn't have Holmgren last year.
Right.
He was hurt. Got hurt in preseason.
Mm-hmm.
And we finally got him back, then we got our other two first-round draft picks that all of a sudden are playing, and of course you got SGA who's just doing, he's playing.
He's a freak.
Will he be here in the next year or two, or is he going to go bye-bye? We're going to lose him too?
I think they'll keep him. I mean, I think,
can we afford him? I mean, by the time he gets to that point, he's going to be one of those guys that's going to demand more money. Hell, he's an all-star now.
He's going to be the max contract, but look at where they're at right now. They're so far under.
True.
They're going to have to come through with. True. I think their priorities are going to be SGA, Holmgren, and Jalen Williams. I think that's going to be their priority.
Well, SGA obviously. I mean, Holmgren you can't let go because he's
still on his rookie deal. He's still got another year.
Yeah, and he's still growing. I mean, as far as bulking up, he's going to have to bulk up.
But they're going to have to They're going to have to dish out the max contracts, and I think they will. I think they'll end up. I haven't heard anything. I haven't seen anything. I have no inside Thunder knowledge, but
right.
I would think that they're going to probably end up dealing Dort. They're going to end up dealing Giddey at some point in time.
Well, so Giddey is another one. I think that he's a great cog in the system they have now.
He's good for what they do, and he's good. He's not great, but he fits in. They've put together a great team.
Well, sure. I mean, is a guy like Giddey. I mean, he was a first round pick, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Is he worth a bigger contract to another franchise?
I think so.
So you think we can trade him and get something out of him?
Hey, maybe we can get a draft pick.
Hey, we got enough of those. We got a ton of those still hanging.
I think they can. I'll be surprised if they don't go after somebody this season on the trade block. Get them another big man.
Get them a big man, or get a good. Well, see,
they don't need another. They don't need any. They don't need another guard. They need a big wing. They need another big man.
They got shooters. Man.
There was talk of the big talk down here in Oklahoma is Lauri Markkanen was one of the names they keep throwing out there.
Yeah.
But in order to get somebody like that, you're going to have to give up Dort, or you're going to have to give up Giddey, or you're going to have to give up one of the 326 draft picks we have over the next 5 years.
You got tons of draft picks that you can give away to get these guys. If you think you're playoff ready now's the time. You have in the NBA, you got to strike when it's there.
And I don't know if they really thought they were playoff ready when this season started.
Nobody, I don't know. They may have. Hell, they they may have. But these kids are playing lights out. I mean, every night they go out there.
Yeah.
They're playing like the 2012 Thunder when they went to the finals against the Heat. They're playing like those guys whenever it was.
But even then, we didn't. I mean,
they were just they just went
Yeah,
out and played
right.
well together. They passed.
They played hard.
It was unselfish basketball. It was, you had Durant, you had Westbrook, you had Harden, you had
But that was
Kendrick Perkins.
But we had Harden before he was Harden.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You had Westbrook, Durant, and Harden before they became what they are.
Right.
And what they demand on the floor now. They all demand the ball a certain amount. But you had Serge Ibaka, you had Nick Collison, you had Kendrick Perkins,
Andre Robertson.
Andre Robertson. You had a bunch of different guys like this team is here now. As far as you had a lot of good players that played well together, and it got them to the finals against the super team over in Miami,
Mm-hmm.
and I just see so much in these guys that we saw back in those days. Do they have a guy that could be the caliber of a Durant later on down the road? I don't know.
I don't know. SGA is awful close.
Well, SGA, I think he can be a Westbrook. SGA can be a Westbrook.
Yeah,
he can be a triple double guy.
He's something else to watch. Holmgren's a freak of nature too.
But he needs to put on some weight.
Yeah, he does, and he will. But
he's got to get some. The other night, whenever he was playing San Antonio and
Wembanyama.
There's two little bitty guys out there this big around, but they were.
Yeah.
They played it was a good game. It was a good match to watch. It was a good prize fight.
Yeah, I think they've finally hit that point now that they're going to start. I think they're going to start dealing a couple here and there. We're going to start losing some of those mainstays here.
Yeah,
because they're just not going to have to pay. They're not going to pay max contracts to Dort and Giddey and that group. And they're good players, and they're going to be great pieces for other teams.
Sure,
and they're going to start. I say they'll start building. They're already built, but they're just going to do nothing but get better and bigger. All the draft picks and.
Well, do they go out at the trade deadline? Do they go out and get a veteran, or do they go out and get
possibly
more youngsters that can?
Well, they don't need any more shooters.
No, it's going to depend on what's available.
And like I said, I keep hearing Markkanen. I've heard Markkanen. I've heard a couple other big men.
Right. We got to get past the All-Star break,
mm-hmm.
and then we'll see where we are. They're playing. They're toe to toe with Minnesota tonight right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's halftime. They're up one or down one
down
or whatever.
Two.
And right now, as the standings stayed going into tonight, there's three teams with the same record: the Thunder, the T-Wolves, and whoever's second place in the East. I forget who that is. Right,
Boston's in first. But yeah,
Boston. That would be Milwaukee. They're all 32 and 14.
Right.
And so who would have thought? You're 46 games into the season, and they got the second best record in the NBA. That shows, like we talked about 2 or 3 episodes ago. That shows when you have a professional coach that's coaching kids, coaching youngsters. You don't have any superstars
who are listening.
They listen to the coach, and the coach coaches them up and does what they need to do to win. So they're fun to watch. If you got anybody out there watching, if you're not here, if you're not from Oklahoma, and you get a chance to watch the Thunder on TV, by God, watch them. They're just fun. They're fun to watch. They move the ball around. They're just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Who else you liking in the NBA right now?
Boy, I don't know. Boston's awful good.
Well, they are. They're only 3 games better than everybody else. But
yeah.
The Clippers have been, man. I didn't think they'd be worth it. I thought they would.
Yeah.
I thought they would implode.
And I think they still will.
You both think they will?
I think they got in. They've avoided the majority of injuries. They've avoided. I think they're going to have injuries. I think they're going to have issues. I think.
Well, you got 4 big dogs in there, and I didn't. It's hard enough for some of these teams that have the 3,
mm-hmm.
the 3 superstars, but now you put 4 in there. It shocks me that Westbrook's playing so team oriented right now.
He is. Finally,
it finally sank in. I guess
for everybody who always talked crap on Westbrook, I've always been a bigger Westbrook fan.
I love the guy,
but
I love watching him play.
He's got attitude or whatever, but the guy he's all about winning.
Yep.
Period.
And that goes a long way.
And I think he's finally, like you said, he accepted his role of what it is because it's what's best for the team and it's helping them win.
Well, you got him, and when they brought Harden in, is what kind of concerned me.
Yeah, that was the concerning factor.
You bring Harden in, and
And Paul George has stayed
Well,
healthy.
you got Paul George, you got Kawhi Leonard, those two guys. They're considered. They've always been considered top level superstars,
Mhm.
but they're a quiet, modest superstar.
Mhm.
I mean,
And Leonard's playing more this year
they're
than he
just
has.
they're consistent as hell. They always have been, those two guys,
Right.
and this year they're playing well with each other. They're sharing the ball. They're shooting well. They bring in Westbrook, who just blended right in, and then they bring in Harden. I thought that was it. It's over. It's over.
Yeah, because I think Westbrook's only averaging, I think, 12, 13 a game or something like that
Oh, I
now.
don't know. I think I got it here. He's averaging 15.
15, yeah.
15 a game.
And you don't hear him bitching and moaning. You don't hear him complaining about playing time. You don't
Right.
hear, but you do see it when he goes off on somebody because he can still take over a game when he needs to.
Right.
And I think their biggest deal is that Paul George has been healthy. Harden hasn't flipped out and done
Right.
Harden things.
Right.
Because when he's healthy and when his mind's right, he's good. He's
He is.
one of the best out there.
He is. And I think they're a team worth watching.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're playing so consistent. For now, it's
Right.
not the All-Star
I think
break.
the second half will get him. I
Things-
think they're going. Paul
Things,
George gets hurt too much.
things
Kawhi Leonard
can-
gets hurt.
yeah, things can start to change as you get a little further into the season.
And also, when it gets a little bit later in the season, they're going to start controlling Kawhi Leonard's minutes, like they always do.
Yeah.
They'll start sitting them down. They'll start
Sure.
missing some stuff.
Sure.
But yeah,
Okay, well, like I say, we're almost to the All-Star break. We'll see how it goes, and we'll keep up on that, and we'll see how this week goes. We'll see how the Thunder do tonight, and then we'll report on that one next week, and we'll see what happens at that point.
yep, got a lot going on there.
And now it's Royal Rumble review. Let's start with the fatal four-way match.
That'll be quick.
Impressed or not?
No, worst match of the night.
No, I think so. I
Worst
agree.
match.
I agree.
Slow.
Usually at the Rumble, you get every match has a story that will lead
Into something.
into
Right.
WrestleMania, because now is the build up for the road
Mhm.
to WrestleMania. I mean, that fatal four-way gave us nothing.
No, nothing advanced. Nothing changed.
It gave us no answers.
I think the only thing it really did was kind of put a stop or a slowdown on the momentum of Orton.
Okay, yeah, because I can see from that match we're going to get an LA Knight AJ Styles match
Sure.
at WrestleMania.
Right. That got turned.
I mean,
but
that'll
now I don't know what
sell.
I don't know what they're doing with Orton now because that's been his whole deal, and I don't think they're going to. I mean, Rhodes. We'll talk about it, but Orton's not in line unless they dump in some kind of triple threat type thing somewhere down the line.
Well, could Orton repackage and go into a bloodline battle? I mean, he hates them. That's the whole reason he came back.
Right.
I'm going to go with the bloodline now.
Well, they better do something with him quick, or he's riding momentum right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Saturday night
It kind of blew it.
put their foot on the throat of that a little bit. So I'm just curious to see where they turn the page on him now.
Yeah, it kind of pulled back on him a little
Right.
bit, and I didn't. I'm if y'all watched our prediction show, I had him winning.
Yeah.
I had
I
him
did
winning
too.
and turning it, but now that this has happened, I've got a different scenario moving forward. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it was the weakest match of the night.
Oh, by far.
It. I know a lot of times the live events we don't hear the crowd like we do on Raw or SmackDown or whatever. I couldn't really see the crowd jumping or getting into it. It
not
wasn't
really.
It wasn't that exciting.
And at the end, the ending, you could tell frustration.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was
just
bad.
because I think they're just.
It was like I don't know.
Reigns does a good job. Always been a fan of Reigns.
He does.
But
He does.
I think most of the fans and they're just ready for another story,
Yeah.
something to take off, and maybe this the build up.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Could be. I just saw it as a waste of a match that did nothing for the storylines moving forward, except for possibly LA Knight and
And
AJ
Styles.
Styles. That's the only thing I can possibly see with Styles. But see, with Styles being pissed off with the Good Brothers and them being not sure about him.
I don't know
Are
why
they
even.
are they going to pull him back in and do something stupid there, and then that frees up Knight, and Orton? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're going to have to see something. I mean, we're watching Raw right now up there and I haven't seen Orton all night.
No, he'd be on.
He's a Raw guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's he'll be.
Knight.
I
See,
can't remember what they're doing.
Styles and Orton are Raw guys, aren't they? Oh, what the hell? We'll figure that out later. But anyway, like I said, I think it's the weakest match of the night. I think it was
Definitely.
it just wasn't good.
No.
I mean, it just wasn't good at all. And I got nothing good to say about it.
No, it was slow. It was just predictable.
Yeah.
Just nothing. You know,
Yeah.
Orton had his moments, which
Right.
is always good, but
Right.
that was really the only real, few big moves from Orton and from Styles, and just no real.
Well, and the finish wasn't good. I didn't like the finish.
No.
I mean, they tried to. It was poorly presented, and I mean, you knew somebody was going to get involved. Sikoa got involved. Same thing.
Yeah, they've done the same interference
I'm
3 or 4 times.
I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
Let's find something different. So, all right, let's move over to Owens and Logan Paul.
It was a good match. It was better than the 4-way.
Not saying much,
No.
but yeah.
Yeah. It was good. Owens always puts on the show.
Yes.
Logan Paul is better than expected. He's still doing a good job.
Agree. I'll agree with you.
They got to keep, like I said, I think they keep him with guys like Owens and them who just can carry anybody.
Right.
They told a good story.
Yep.
It ended in a good way that will keep this going.
Yes.
They feed off each other well.
Yes.
I think they're good for each other. I think that's a story that they can drag into Mania.
I agree with that.
And be believable, and that Owens finally get a belt. It's been a few years since he's had a belt, I believe.
He had the tag belts just last year.
An actual belt.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, that's a whole other.
Yeah, the tag belts are just a waste.
Just a waste of time.
So
shouldn't be, but it is right now. Good finish. I know.
Yeah.
Some people frustrated with DQs and those kind of things, but this was a good. In my mind, it was good, kind of a throwback to what we're used to in the olden days, where you would.
Yes.
Not every match needs to be clean. Not every match needs to be gone over. This was a.
And every now and then, the babyface needs to cheat and get caught.
Right.
It tells a story, like you said. It keeps the feud alive.
Keeps the heat going.
It keeps the heat going.
Right.
It just does. It gets Waller and
Theory
back involved.
Right.
It keeps a nice little thing going there, and I think it was a good match. It was done well.
Yeah,
it was performed well. Paul is very very athletic. He's good with the crowd. He pushes buttons.
I'm pleasantly surprised with him.
On the Fatal 4-Way, I give it a D. On a graded scale of A to F, I give it a D. Where do you go?
On the 4-Way?
The 4-Way.
Oh, that's an F. Nothing about that. Nothing about that I like.
Okay, so we'll go Owens. We'll go Owens and Logan Paul.
Probably a C+.
Ooh,
B-.
I was going to go B. I was going to go a solid B. I liked it, and so I can understand you.
I did too.
Your B, your C. You're okay. That's cool.
I wish it had been a little bit longer match.
Well, at any time.
Yeah.
I read something today that they said the women's Rumble match went about 10 minutes over than what they had scheduled.
Right.
So, they had to cut something somewhere.
Right.
So, I mean, for what it was, I thought it was really good. It continued the story. So.
Right.
All right, let's move on to the women's Royal Rumble. I think I picked Bayley. Did you pick Bayley?
No, I had Cargill.
Oh, you had Cargill, which was a good choice, by the way.
My opinion, that was the best match of the night. I liked it better than the men's Rumble. It was well done. A few surprises. You had Naomi coming back. You had Cargill coming in. Jordan Grace coming in.
Mm-hmm.
You had some surprises. You didn't waste 2 or 3 entrances on 60-year-old veterans. You didn't have. You didn't waste.
You had Natty.
I was trying to find a nice way to say that. You didn't waste a whole lot of time with her because you threw her in there first and let her hang around for a while, get the veteran push, and then get her the hell out of there.
Right.
Once the ring started filling up.
Sure.
The Cargill great
huge
introduction
pop.
for her.
Huge
Great
pop.
introduction for her.
Right.
Having her tossing out jacks, setting up that field. I mean, they set up
Well,
2,
having
3.
her, I mean, picking up and slamming jacks for
They
God's sakes.
they set up 2, 3, 4 storylines just in that.
And that's
Just
what
in
the
that
Royal
Rumble.
Rumble's for.
Right. And then I think they just did it great. They didn't do the obvious on that Becky win.
Right.
They didn't, they set up the Nia Jax thing. They set up.
Well, and they had the Chelsea Green comedy. I loved that stuff. I just loved that stuff.
That, and as long as they just do it and they spend it on the proper person.
Sure.
You got R-Truth on the men's side and you got Chelsea Green on the women's side. And those are your comic relief, and it's great. It was funny.
It was
well done.
And
nobody.
And something about Chelsea Green, she knows how to sell. She sells so well.
Yeah.
And she's great on the mic. She does what's expected.
But what I liked about it was they were all comedy spots,
right?
But they were all within the flow of the match, and nothing was choreographed too far ahead where it was just scooting her on the back across the ring. Everything was done.
Nothing was forced.
Right.
It looked
smooth and it looked really well.
And the only thing I didn't like about the women's match, I'll agree with you that it was a good match.
Mm-hmm.
Was it better than the men's? I'm still out to lunch on that one because
I think so. I just
as it is every year with the women's Royal Rumble match, the first 10 to 12 entrants, it's a very slow and.
But I think that's why they put Naomi second and Jordynne Grace.
Yeah,
fifth,
it's always an oddly paced match because. Right. Now, once you get 6 or 7 ladies in there, it really starts to move a little better. But early, it just drags for me. It always does. Yeah. They seem to be a little more choreographed with their moves, and you can tell.
I didn't see it as bad.
But did it pick up? Oh yeah, it picked up. My gosh!
And I think having Bianca and Cargill face off, Bianca and Becky, and Cargill and Nia,
right?
And I think there was good build-ups, and now I'm really curious to see where they go with Cargill now.
Sure.
Where they go with Becky now.
Well, see, the thing about it is the Cargill and Bianca Belair standoff with the slamming of the people at the same time. Okay. Are we challenging each other?
I think that's.
Are we challenging each other?
No, I don't think. I think that's a Cargill Nia Jax thing right off the bat. I think everybody's just always.
Okay,
so always put Cargill and Bianca together when they were on rival shows.
Sure, because they're similar.
Yeah, very similar styles.
They've been teasing Bianca going bad for a year, but I don't think she's going to go. I don't think
she's going to now. She's got that show. She's got her show coming out. They're not going to flip her heel now.
And I don't think they're going to bring Jade in and let her be a heel right off the bat.
Not right off the bat. She's going. I think that's your Nia Jax thing. I think that's your Nia Jax WrestleMania match.
Sure. There's Nia Jax and WrestleMania. Boom. Done.
They got to have somebody like her to.
Now, what are you going to do with Belair?
Yeah,
Becky.
That's what I'm saying. They advance some
a number one contender type thing. But and see something else. I noticed what I was waiting for. Bayley wins, which she deserves to win. Mm-hmm. Great. She's done so much for the women's division.
Yeah,
she's just so important for this division.
Right.
She's just that good. The way they don't do the high five with
Kairi
Sane and Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
The way that she was trying to help them, but they wouldn't help her. That I'm waiting for the break, waiting for the split.
Right. It's coming.
I mean, they're at Raw. They're at Raw tonight, but they haven't come up.
It may be at the Chamber.
You think it'll blow then? I mean, because it's
going to have to. She's going to go after Io Sky.
Well, usually what happens is the person who wins the Rumble the first night, whether it be Raw or SmackDown, they declare who they're going to go against.
Right, and they're there tonight.
They're there tonight. I mean, will she come out and do the old evolution thing? And
I don't think. I think it'd be one of the. I'm just saying they're going to go out and they're going to tell her she's going after Rhea. Blah blah blah. This is what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You're great. We know you're not going to go after her. Blah blah blah.
Sure. And then she says, "No, I think I'll go after you."
Right.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Because Ripley, Ripley could. I mean, Ripley's sitting there. That could be your Becky Lynch right there.
I think that's what they're saving Bianca or Becky or Nia, I think Nia and Cargill are WrestleMania. So yeah, you're talking Becky or Bianca at WrestleMania with Ripley. They're not going to put Bailey in on that. I don't.
Well, see,
think.
because see,
Bailey and Io is a much bigger story
sure,
that you
but
could throw in.
sure, because they're
For
both
night-
well,
for
they're
night
both
one.
well, they're both SmackDown.
Right.
You know, if you have her go against Ripley, Ripley's Raw, and then they're going to screw up that situation.
Right.
So if you put her on, you let her go against her. I mean, it's logical.
And you know how WWE is. They've got a show. Bianca's got a show coming out.
Sure,
I can see them.
She's going to stay. She's going to stay
pushing her to
face
the
as long as she
forefront,
can.
right.
So okay. So what do you give? So what grade do you give the women's Royal Rumble?
Oh, I give it
match?
an A. I give it an A.
I'll give it an A minus because it was a little slow for me in the beginning. But I mean, I think it was done well. The finish was good. Once it was down to about 10, it got real good.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think bringing in Liv Morgan was a good call.
Morgan coming in at 10, at 20, at 30 was just.
Yeah.
I mean, it was perfect. You know, it's always a good way for somebody that's been out to come back.
Mm-hmm.
They've done it for years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you name it, they've probably come back after an
Right.
injury. You know, you've seen a Big Show, Orton, Triple H,
And it wasn't run by the internet. Nobody. I mean,
No.
the rumors were there that it could happen.
no. Well, the thing was is that they only gave us seven entrants
Yeah.
before it even started,
Right.
and that was done on purpose. I'm sure.
I'm glad they did it that way. I wish
It was great.
They'd go back to more of that.
It was great. Well, yeah, back in the day, if you go back 10, 15 years, you know, they'd always show you on the show who drew number 30.
right.
Well, number 30 is the fun one.
Yeah.
You know, and they'd
That's
always tell you, you know, the only one left to come in this time is Rikishi.
Yeah.
You know, what a letdown,
Yeah.
you know. But so, okay, so we give it good scores there. Let's move to the men's. A Royal.
Men's Rumble.
A Rumble.
And I
like the opening. You got Jimmy and Jay.
Jimmy and Jay.
You got Jay coming out and Jimmy coming out, and they give it the good stare down. Very, very good start. I
Mhm.
think it was a great idea, and it was done well.
Yeah.
Then moving forward,
I think you said the women's had a slow at the beginning. I think the men's kind of hit that lull between, I don't know, 12 to 18, 12 to 19.
Yeah, could have been.
There was a slow spot in there. I can't remember who the actual entrants were at that
Right.
time, but you know there was a definite slowdown.
yeah,
You know, Cody coming in at 15 picked things back up again.
that's
but,
usually that's what they used to do.
Yeah.
You would go 1 till about 12, 13, and it'd start to do this number. Then number 15 would always be a boot. It'd always be it's The Rock, or it's Austin, or it's Kane, or it's whatever. It always brought it back up, and so it was done very well, I thought.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah.
I just don't think overall it was better than the women's, but
Right.
I mean, again, told a lot of stories.
Yes.
Maybe progressed a couple of them here and there. The McIntyre thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think Punk getting hurt is gonna
Yeah. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, he blew out his
tore his tricep.
tricep muscle. He's
You know, and
supposedly out 4 to 6 months.
Right. And I just wonder because he did it. I don't remember. Was there 4 left, 5 left when it happened? Can't
6, I think.
6. So I just wonder if that was relayed and something got changed, you know, on the way, or if it was always predicted, if it was always set up for Cody to win it again.
Good question.
I
You
don't
know,
know
good
if they
question.
called an audible there.
Well, I didn't see, but see, I never saw. I'm gonna go back and watch it again to see if there was any communication, but I don't.
Right.
I don't know if he knew he was hurt,
It maybe not.
so I don't know if he could have communicated. I think it was Cody all the way, all from
could
the
have been.
beginning. I just think that they after last year's, if they did it to him again this year, I think there might be anarchy in the stadium. You know, I think it may be the Daniel Bryan thing all over again. You know, because if Bryan doesn't win that WrestleMania, if he does, that place goes into total chaos.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I think we're looking at probably the same thing here. I think Cody needed when he did it as a great performance. The Final Four, it was okay. It was good. I mean, Gunther going out where he went out, I thought was a little early. I figured he'd.
Yeah, that kind of surprised me.
I thought they'd bring it down to a Cody Gunther again, just for old time's sake. But Cody Punk makes more sense being the final two. It was good. It was good for what it was.
Right. It was good. Like I said, they just didn't advance as many stories as I was hoping they would, I
Right.
guess.
Right.
And you still got, like I said, you left the Rumble with not knowing what's going to go on with Orton, not knowing what's going on with Rollins, not knowing what's
Right.
going on with Priest, not
Right.
knowing what's going on with Gunther.
And see, that was something
a
that
lot
kind of
open-ended.
that concerned me a little bit about the Judgment Day again.
Yeah.
You bring them out, they get in the match, they
Yeah.
do their thing, they get thrown out.
Mm-hmm.
If they get thrown out early.
Yeah, JD went out quick.
JD went out quick.
Dominic, now see, I think they're getting ready to do, if what they're saying is right, and Breaker took Brock's spot.
Right. And then he threw Breaker out. Then is Breaker going to finally be on the number one roster? Is he finally going to stay up?
Yeah, but I think they're getting ready to. I'm thinking that's why they had Dominic throw him out, because that was the rumors that Brock was getting ready to have a match with Dominic at the Chamber and then go face Rollins. So I'm just wondering how much of.
Why would it? That's
I don't know. It makes any sense. But why else would you have Dominic throw out somebody like Brock Lesnar or Breaker?
You get Lesnar likes to throw people around.
Mm-hmm.
You saw what he did to Kofi,
right?
And so I mean, I don't know. I mean, if they're gonna, they need to bring Braun up.
Yeah, I think he's done everything he can do.
He can't do anything else. He's done. He's done it.
No. Yeah. And he's good enough.
He's good enough. He's ready.
Yeah,
he's ready. He's so good at what he does right now.
I'm just curious who they throw him in.
But see, I figured if that was going to be the case, he'd be on tonight. He's not on tonight.
Yeah, I figured he would have.
He's not here. So what the hell? Mm-hmm. I mean, again, they leave us in a bit of a limbo here, unless he's got an unfinished story at NXT and he was supposed to finish that before. I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see where that goes. But then Cody comes in and finishes it. He does his thing. He and Punk, there at the very end, Punk kind of gave it away. Whenever he said, I didn't come here to lose to Dusty's kid.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to go over the top rope.
That was pretty much the end of that one.
You're done. When you say
that was a sell.
You say that, comes out on the mic, you're done. You're over. He tosses him, he gets it, he gets his hand raised, and here we go. And so now we move into Mania. And wow.
No, I say there's no announcement. He made it clear there it was going to be a Reigns thing. So.
Well, tonight he talked to Rollins for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I got to go back and watch what he said to see if.
But that's my next thing is where do they go with Rollins? Where do they? There's a lot of open ended that.
Well, Rollins being hurt,
right.
He says he's going to be back for Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he should have gone against Punk. Punk's gone. McIntyre and Rollins is old. Do you let Orton go for it?
They got to do something. That's what I was thinking. Maybe they throw that opening, but you still got Priest lingering out there. Do you make it a Gunther Rollins thing and, like I said before, have Priest cash in and take Gunther's title?
Possibly, but I don't see Orton tonight. I mean, is Orton pissed because he didn't get the push he was told he was going to get? Did they change shit on it? I'm confused. I still think The Rock shows up at WrestleMania, and I think he pulls the bloodline out of the ring, so Cody can beat Reigns straight and level, and then down the road Reigns fights The Rock. I think that's what they're setting up for.
I think right now there's Rock's got some executive business to tend to right now.
Got a little thing to take care of at the executive level. There's a few things going on over at the corporation.
I don't know if anybody's heard or not.
If nobody's heard, there's a few things going on at the corporation.
TKO's got a problem within its doors.
Houston, we do have a problem. We're going to have to figure something out here. Yeah. But I don't know. There's a lot of, as it is every year after the Rumble, there's a few angles that they got to clear up for the road to WrestleMania. The Elimination Chamber is going to have to get figured out. Usually the winner of that gets something.
They'll get Rollins, I figured. That's who they're going to set up. Whoever's in that chamber is going to get a match with Rollins.
Okay, well, if they do.
Is what I'm guessing.
At Mania. Yeah. So it's going to have to be all Raw people.
Mm-hmm.
So see, there again, you have a problem. You're going to put Priest in that, even though he's got the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Right.
That's the one that's really blown my mind. You can't.
And that's why I keep going back to, I think somehow, someway they're going to get him to take Gunther, and then
you put the belts on him. You put the tag belts on them. Then while he's got the Money in the Bank briefcase, they weren't thinking.
I think that's why it's drug on for so long.
Well, you give. You've only got so many things to hold on to. Look at here. Look at the frame. That's Scarlett, by the way. I think she wants to, interject into the conversation. But I mean, you got. I mean, you got the tag belts. You got the world title. You got both world titles. You got the Intercontinental belt. You got the U.S. belt, and you've got the Money in the Bank briefcase. Those should be on. Everybody should have one. I hate those that have two championships. This is the same situation. He's got the tag belts and the Money in the Bank briefcase. That bothers me. Always has.
Well, they
always
never.
will.
But the briefcase thing. That's always. I mean, I know there's been a few that haven't cashed it, or there's
Right.
been a couple here and there, but
Right.
somebody like Priest, when he's still managed, he's still been a draw. He still gets heat.
Right.
He's still.
Yeah.
I still think he's one of the best out there right now.
He sells. He's good.
But they got to do something. They got to figure. They got to get the other ones off of him first, though.
Right.
So.
Well, all right. That's where we're at. What do you give that the men's match? You give it an A?
I'll give it an A-. I still think the women's match is better.
A-. Boy, he's tough. Okay. All right. Well, listen, that'll do it for this session for episode number 4, I believe. We'll check it out, I believe.
I don't know. Once you subscribe and go check it out,
Yeah,
you
once
can
you
let us know
subscribe.
which episode this was.
Like right here. Subscribe. Like.
Comment.
Tell your friends. Get them in here. We need people. We need comments. We need people to tell us what to talk about. We can talk about this stuff all day, all night, and every day. So let us know what you want to hear. Give us some of your comments. Let us know what we're doing right, wrong, or indifferent. And we do appreciate you coming by and giving us your time. You got anything else?
That is it. Sounds good. We'll be...
Till next time, next weekend, we got nothing going on in the NFL. We'll be checking out some more NBA, see if the Thunder can pull that off tonight.
Some more basketball, some more NCAA basketball.
And of course, more of the road to WrestleMania. And if AEW does anything exciting, we'll let you know. But, hell, they never do anything exciting
we'll see.
as it stands right now. So, y'all have a good week. We'll talk to you soon.
See you soon.
Bye now.